Huge.
Was that loud enough?
Yeah, that was loud enough.
Yeah, it's only got to go there.
I'll just do it again. Okay.
Alright.
I can do one more. I'll do one more time.
Okay, one more. Yeah. Okay.
They just
Don't
progressively
touch
got better.
Has to be true.
Say sample packs.
Oh yeah.
That's the one.
That
This is an
is
exclusive
thick.
sample pack.
That is
That's the
thick.
Sips clap.
Dude, it's clapped.
It's my secret.
Yo,
It's my secret.
use that clap. That's the Sips clap, man.
Dude, it's the hot Q sample pack.
Yeah, we're doing it.
And it's just all
happening.
claps.
Oh, that'd be
Clap.
sick.
That's actually
That is
brilliant.
such a fire
Wow, that
idea.
was a good one. We could have sampled too. I feel like
Yeah.
we're talking over that one.
No, there was silence clap. I'll EQ it out.
Throw it through Edison.
Okay, so we're back now. We're not 100% sure if the last little recording was corrupt, but
We're gonna
He's
send
hoping.
it.
we're still gonna send it. We're gonna talk about your music, and the big thing right now is you've got an EP on the way, and I don't know anything about it really.
Because
I don't know how
no
many-
details.
Yeah, there's
Shoot
no
tell.
details. So, do
Yeah,
you wanna give us a rundown?
So I pretty much spent the last, I guess, more 8 months just sitting, working away, learning a lot, and just getting my music up to a point where, like my original music up to a point where I was really happy and just happy with what I was writing, with the quality, with the consistency, all of that kind of stuff. And I don't know what happened, but just in a period of like a month, it just all clicked, and I just wrote this EP
yeah.
/ now it's just spilling into like just I don't know, heaps of music. I'm just shitting out music.
Music, yeah, mad.
Yeah,
Good expression.
so I actually originally had an EP that I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna release this, and I guess I was forcing it because I'm like, gotta have this EP. gotta do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, finish it. There's still one track on there that I'm pretty sure I'm going to release that I love. A lot of people have heard it in my sets because I used to open with it always. But I just eventually finally was like, just keep, just not let go of it, but just, let's write some more stuff. And anyway, this EP just came together so quick.
Fast, yeah.
I wasn't trying to write an EP. I just felt inspired and just wrote like all this music, and I was really happy with it. One of the tracks, people would have heard Bear Grylls played it at Lost Lands, which was insane. I actually did the mix the morning of. I was just like,
just like
put it
take
together,
it,
like I hope this bangs. Like I've never had music on like a sound system like that before, so I was like, this could be a disaster. It worked out alright. But yeah, so I finished that. I can't give any details yet.
Yeah.
But anyone who comes to my shows, I will be playing it.
Okay, there you go.
So I've got that at the moment. And then I have a lot of music.
Okay.
But obviously I haven't been releasing. I released one track in the middle of the year, which was the Chainsmokers remix. But,
yes, the official remix, which is huge.
Hashtag
Congratulations.
official. That's a big deal.
That was a big deal.
I was like, this is... Even when it
How'd that
came
come
up, I'm
about?
like... Ugh. So I got the opportunity and like through my management, and I don't know, at the time I was like, well, this is a big deal, and like you're compared to the other people that have the opportunity, I was like, you've got to do a really good job because these guys obviously don't know you, they don't know who you are, and you kind of got to kill it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
And so I just I probably wrote like 4 different remixes until I finally got to the last one that I was like, that I loved and really liked. And anyway, so eventually we sent it off to them in this big pool of music, and they were like, okay, well, it's made the cut of like the final 50, and I was like, fuck, like, okay, which is awesome already, and I was like, but that's still like a lot of tracks.
A lot of tracks, yeah.
And then I pretty much had just over 24 hours to have it mixed, mastered, ready. So I was like, cool, I'm going to be in the studio for the day. So then went back, mixed and mastered it, and we sent it back off to them, and they were like, yep, it's in, we're releasing it in like 3 days. Like, it was just like, here's everything you need, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, for me, that was a big turning point, because it was your music. Not that everyone does this, but like you should be writing your music for you, obviously, and like I feel like you're always your harshest critic, and you know you want everything to be at a certain standard, but having that validation from you know people that big and obviously everyone else that's involved, you know, they did the release and all that sort of stuff, it kind of made me go, all right, like I'm doing this legit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which was a big turning point for me. And anyway, released it and it got on dubstepped on Spotify, which was awesome because it you know a lot of people listening to it and it did really well. But other than that, I haven't been releasing this year because I just kind of sat back and wanted to really hone in and finish my music and all of that sort of stuff, especially originals. I do have quite a few remixes that are done, but I kind of wanted to wait until the originals were all done. So that's on the way.
Is there collabs? Can we expect collabs on the?
There are some collabs.
Okay, cool.
There's definitely some cool music and some different stuff. You know, like there's some obvious stuff which is like not you know just like this is awesome. Like we're either in a similar genre or whatever. But then there's also some stuff where I'm working with people that you wouldn't really expect it. Which is cool. And like that's probably some of that music is the most exciting because it's like a completely different thing.
Well, that's like I'm very excited to hear it because, you know, you're like very like focused on like the dubstep side of things, and then now that we might be getting to hear like a little bit of a change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've always wanted to have as many melodic components as I can get away with, and I think in this EP too, you know, I do have some melodic dubstep in there, and I do have some stuff that's like a little bit more, you know, like not crazy. You know, I have the club bangers, you know what I mean? But I also have the stuff that but I also have the stuff that's like the stuff you want to listen to, you know, like the stuff that you can just listen to in the car and all that sort of stuff. But I think it also like really blends the genres together, you know. I'm trying to work as creatively as I can, and it's really fun trying to find how they can all come together. So I'm excited for people to hear it.
I'm excited to hear it too.
Sweet,
and now talking more about your like roots in music and like where you studied at Icon Collective, which is huge.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Icon was one of the best things I could have done for like a career in music. So I did it online, and a lot of people like don't really realize that. But when I did it 2015. That could be wrong. What year are we in? No, 2016. 2016. And essentially, it was pretty full on. So back when I was doing it, it was just a 1 year online course. And it was pretty intense. Like I was probably doing between 30 and 40 hours a week.
That's a lot.
Of that. And I went into it, I had a lot of musical knowledge, but I didn't know a lot about programming. I wasn't very, you know, I knew about Ableton and I knew about, you know, a little bit in sound design and Serum. I definitely knew the music theory side of things, but not as much the technical side. I didn't know a lot about sound design and things like that. And it was amazing for me because I just knew I was getting the information. There's so much information that you can be given, you know, to obviously a lot of writing music is experimentation. You still need that, but knowing how everything works made it a lot easier and a lot quicker for me to start experimenting. You know, it just allowed me to progress a lot quicker. And it was an amazing experience. That was probably still to this day the hardest year of my life. I just had, in terms of like, I guess work, I was working at Your Shot at the time, and for 3 months at Your Shot you're working 7 days a week, and every weekend, you know, you have these events and you have to be there at 6 a.m. and you don't go home till 11 p.m. You know what I mean? And then somehow in that I was trying to finish all the assignments and Icon, there's, you know, especially online at that time, it was pretty demanding because they needed to make sure you were getting the work done. So you're handing in 4 to 6 assignments a week, and you know, a lot of those are songs, so you're writing, you know, 3-4 minute songs every week. You know, it was really intense. And amongst all of that stuff, I had a lot of personal stuff going on as well. Had a few very close family members get diagnosed with terminal cancer. I had some of them pass away right in the middle of the period. So it was a shit fight. Like it was really.
That sounds super intense.
It was a good, like, obviously it was a shit fight, and I think when you're in it, it's a lot easier because you have no choice. You just are like, I have to do it, you know? And like, I wasn't sleeping. I was just, every spare second I had, I was being as efficient as I could with everything. Like, you know, say, for example, now when we had the break, I would have gone off into like a storeroom and recorded vocals. Like, it was something like fucking great. Like, I did that at your shop. We had half an hour between when we finished this briefing and when the event started. And so I literally went into this back storeroom, put a coat over my head and had a little microphone set up to my computer and recorded this vocal for a thing. Like, it was just like, it was really intense, but it was great because, especially because it was online, you had to really make sure you were doing everything yourself. You know, you had to
self-discipline.
Yeah, it was very, I mean, I'm that way inclined anyway, like, obviously, but it really like helped me to go, okay, like, you need to be pushing yourself. No one else is gonna tell you, oh, you have to go to class now, you know what I mean? Like, it was all very much yourself. But I mean, what I learned that year was crazy. Like, I just learned, and it still took so long for me to even, you know, even some of the information that I learned then, I'm still kind of processing now. But it's definitely an awesome course, and like something that I would suggest to any producer. Like, a lot of people ask me about it. A lot of people send me messages being like, okay, you know, I'm thinking about doing Icon, and like, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard when people are like, I'm thinking of doing Icon. Like, what do you think of it? And I'm like, a little bit like, dude, it's amazing, but like, that's it. You know, I don't need to convince you to go. You know, I don't need to. I'm not here to convince you. If you don't want to go, don't go. But like, it's your loss. You know, it doesn't. It's not gonna advantage or disadvantage anyone.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it was incredible, and just to have that knowledge, it meant that I came straight out and could work in production. You know, I had so much knowledge. Yeah, exactly. So it was a really amazing experience. So, and it's still such a family. Like, there's so many people that I've, you know, come across through there, or it's just it was really awesome.
Yeah. Do you reckon more than like going over there to LA and working at Icon, do you reckon it would be almost better to do it from home because, you know, you're then learning self-discipline as well? I
mean, I think everyone's different. Some people need to be in front of someone. In saying that, Icon is very, you have Skype calls every week. Yeah. Every day you can be in 2 office hours, which is a Skype call with the teachers and things. For me, the biggest things that it boiled down to was, well, 3 things, I guess. One was the money. It was cheaper, and also I was living at home, so I could save a lot of money by doing it out of my house. And I guess the second part of that, my music wasn't ready, so it's all well and good to network, but like, I had nothing to show for it. You know, it's great to meet all these people, but like, it sort of made no difference. And I definitely had a strong network, you know, before that anyway. And I think the third thing is, LA can be very distracting. And I think if you're not, you know, I've been over to LA so many times, and only by this point I'm like, okay, now I can see how I can live a consistent working life here, because there's so much going on, there's so many shows, and it's so easy to get caught up in stuff like that. And I think especially if you're like starting to learn to be a producer, like, that all comes with it, and I think it's very easy to kind of get lost. And the thing I loved about online is my only focus was the music and the theory. You know, I wasn't caught up in, oh, like, there's this show tonight, or like there's this, I don't know, anything else that you could kind of get caught up with and distracted by, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How many times have you been to LA now?
I usually go at least once a year.
Once a year?
Sometimes a couple more. So I've probably been there about, probably about 4 or 5 times.
4 or 5 times. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And it's good because each time has been a very different experience, but the best part that I'm finding now is, you know, it's all been different because I've been at different processes throughout my career, but now that I'm so, like, I just love, obviously I've always loved writing music, but now I'm just so, like, just so focused. It's great going over there because it's just, like, a pool of so many people that are just, like, wanting to write and create. And even though, obviously, I'm very much, my career is in bass music and dubstep and all that sort of stuff, I do touch on I do, you know, a lot of mix engineering, and I do production for other people. And so I can get in a room with people that are doing weird shit. And like there's
Work around
there's still
with that.
there's still stuff that I can do, so I really enjoy it.
Is there anything you can like mention like specifically about?
I mean, I guess probably not necessarily specifically, or like
or just like in general about kind of like weird situations like where you would be working or who you'd be.
well, I guess I've just done I've done I guess the work that I've been doing that's not part of like my regular producing is like I will go and produce for like say a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And I know I was telling you a little bit about that before, so they'll come to me with they'll just have a song that they're singing with a guitar, and then I'll go and do a full production with them. Which is really fun. Or I've been doing some production for some videos, some short films I've done, which are like they're really fun.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting. Actually, one, I don't know why this like, I keep not forgetting about it, but like, so I did this short film. I've done a couple actually with this girl, and it's in all these like film festivals and stuff.
Oh,
and
really?
Like around the world too. But
That's
it's
so
just
cool.
she's almost like really blasé when she tells me that. She's like, yeah, it's in this like Amsterdam Film Festival, and like it makes me go, oh yeah, cool, whatever. And then I'm like, holy fuck, like that's a
Wait a
big
minute.
deal. So that's been really cool, and done some videos after those like Nike events. I'll do some music for that, and I do a lot of mix engineering. I do a lot of mixing and mastering. And I actually really love doing that. It's and it's a good, I don't know, it's a good break, especially when it's not. It's almost harder to mix and master your own stuff. Like I
you're
kind
more
of
critical of your own work.
yeah,
right?
and you can, as soon as someone gives me a song, I can hear what it needs and what it's missing.
But like if you babysat it the whole way through,
if I'm
think
hearing
I
it
like
from
it
the
like
start,
this.
you're a bit like, oh, but I like the way that sounds, even if it's probably not what's best for the track.
Yeah.
So I really love doing the mix engineering and that side of things. I've been learning and working under Sean Naderi, who does a lot of mix engineering. Yeah. So and he's like I can't
He's
even
insane.
I can't explain what I've learned from here. It's just like I've learned so much. And it's and the biggest thing is it's trained my ear too. But he works with some amazing people and just just seeing that and has really helped me improve, and across the board, a big focus of it is mix engineering, but then my production has come a long way too. So it's
cool.
So I touch on everything, and it means that when I'm a bit more open when I start doing my own work too. Like I've been writing this track with a Mastro, Angus Murphy.
Oh yes.
And like
Love him.
that is the classic example of something that doesn't seem like it would fit, that we're doing something really cool. We've written this track that I'm really like hype on it, and I really love, and it's one of those examples of it's still like in my realm, but it's not, it's not going hard like balls to the wall dubstep. Like it's not like full on that kind of thing, but it's something that like I think people would really like listen to over and over. And he's honestly like one of the most fun people I've worked with. Like 100%. It's just so he's
such a fun person.
He is such a fun person. Yeah, but we wrote this track, and the whole time I was like I didn't even know what we were doing. Like the whole time I was like, I don't know what we're writing, but I fucking love this. Whatever this is about, I'm about this. Yeah, it was sick. So I'm really excited about that one. But yeah, just an example of like how working in so many different realms, kind of feeds into each other.
Yeah, and just draw inspiration from
exactly.
everything and anything.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't even know.
Talking about doing some like doing different things. I heard you guys did the Rolly.
Oh yeah.
The launch in Australia.
Yeah. So yeah.
Maybe like give people a rundown of what Rolly actually is in case they don't know.
So Rolly is they make synths, and they're best known for the Seaboard Rise, which is this synth that became really popular online. I guess it's like a touch-sensitive synth that is really sensitive to, I guess, the different parameters of touch in terms of like velocity or like gliding and things like that. And it creates a very live, expressive kind of way of playing. Anyway, so I was approached by Rolly. They were doing a launch in Australia, and they were really interested in getting me involved and playing. They wanted me to learn all the equipment that they had, and they wanted me to play a live set, which nothing I've ever really. I mean, I always wanted to have like some drum element in my set, but so far I hadn't really found anything that I was super keen on and I thought made sense. But yeah, they wanted me to do a live set, and I just went straight for it. They gave me a whole heap of gear, and it was like the most fun, but also like something really. It was really outside my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like I've never done a live set. I didn't know anything about their equipment in terms of like the literally how it works. I knew from watching the videos and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, and through that whole process, I learned way more than I even expected to. I pretty much know the equipment fairly inside and out now, just from the troubleshooting. And I guess the way that I designed my live set was probably not the most intuitive, but just because it made sense for the kind of music that I was writing. And I don't think they haven't really had a lot of like dubstep artists using their stuff, so it meant that like I was using it in a very unique way. It wasn't just like a singer-songwriter playing piano. It was very, very different. And I played the live set at the launch, and it was just like so much fun. Like I loved it. I got into it, and just it was really fun to be able to play again, because I know DJing is like playing, but like I hadn't played instruments in front of people in so long, and that was just like such a fun, awesome experience for me. And we're definitely ongoing. We'll be doing stuff. Oh, you definitely think? Yeah. That's really cool. I'll definitely be doing a lot with them. Events and all of that sort of stuff. But also definitely looking at performing more live sets. And once I did that, I actually saw a way that you could do it with dubstep that wasn't clunky, cheesy, or you had to like sacrifice what you were doing.
Was it pre-mapped, or did you map it all yourself?
Like, no, I did all of it myself. Right. Yeah, from the start, which was like at the start I was like, this is so overwhelming for me because I don't know how to do any of this stuff. But once I learned, it's actually all like, if you've got it well organized, it's actually like not too bad. Yeah. But it was very fun, and I was using drum pads instead of using drum pads for drums. I was using it to launch synths and stuff. And it was all like really fun. I didn't realize how many like lead solos I had that were kind of like almost like what I would play on guitar, but it was like on the piano. It was really sick. So I'm excited to get more into that and kind of build that up. And I know like there's a lot of settings where a live set, you don't need it. But there's also a lot of places where the live set can be really fun, and I think it just has like a different vibe to it. And I definitely design the set a little bit differently for the live stuff. And I really enjoy it. So. Yeah, that's cool. If like moving forward into like more like example, if you're gonna do a live show, what would you want to incorporate in your show that's kind of like something that everyone can take away and be like, okay, Sippy does that with her shows? I mean, I guess the way of live playing with dubstep is kind of like the thing that I want people to take away. Right. And like when you watch a live set, there's lots of different types of live sets, but one of the things that I see the most, people kind of do, they play the instrument, the guitar or whatever. They have the big Roland SX that they all, the SPD, that looks spectacular, like that kind of thing, or or they're playing the keyboard or whatever. But I think the thing that was interesting about dubstep is like I'm chopping samples and synths on these little drum pads, and being able to like almost like bring a DJ element where the flow is like a DJ, but also having those those little synth chops and the little samples, and you can bring in other people's songs, you can bring in your own, you can kind of do it in that way. I think that's something that's going to be really, really interesting, and also like trying to bring dubstep into that field. Like obviously a lot of dubstep is like, we just want to be in a sweaty club and it needs to be late at night and let's fucking, but like I also want to be able to bring it out into the
mainstream.
Into the mainstream, into the big stages, into the daytime, into all these. And when I'm writing all this kind of music, it's still all very much in my style, but it's become a little bit more universal. And I think that's part of the live set too. Like the songs that I play in the live set are very much like this universal, like enjoyable.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like it's also a really big point in maturing as an artist too.
yeah,
Is like thinking about making this accessible to everyone listening, but also
Yeah.
kind of balancing it with keeping it to your
yeah, it's
yourself.
definitely still like I don't know. You'll see as I release music.
Yeah,
Like
no,
it's still very
yeah.
much my stuff, but it's just showing the different components to it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the rolly stuff's been really fun.
All right. Well, we're nearly done actually.
Oh yeah.
That went quite fast.
Yeah.
That took
Um,
very
Super
fast.
quick.
Yeah. So what's next? So what are we expecting next from you? Is it the EP? Is it
Yeah, so
single?
I got a couple more shows left. I'm heading off overseas for a little while, a couple of months. But in that time will be the EP.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
that'll
When can we
definitely
expect
be the next bit. It'll be before. Okay,
Oh.
let me give myself. Okay, well it'll be before February next year.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That seems like a long
Sick.
time. It's not.
Nah,
that,
that
it's
that
not going
doesn't
to be
seem
that
long
long
at all.
But I think, I don't know exactly how it's structured, but there'll be music before.
Before
that.
then? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Alright, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm very
so,
keen
yeah.
No,
for that.
well, we're very keen to hear everything that come out of Sippy. And
Sweet.
we're very thankful for you for
Thank-
joining us
Thank you for having
today.
me. It was
And
good
Cody
fun.
as well, even though
Nice. Didn't
he's
say
just
much.
gonna, he's just
I
gonna chill.
just nodded. I just nodded.
But it was good
Nice
to have the
to
moral
meet
support.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
of
you.
course.
Good
I'm
here
support.
for you, though.
Thanks, bro. Thanks
Got
for
you,
having me,
man.
Jim. Well done, mate.
If
Smash
you want
majority of
to support Sippy, you can follow her on Spotify, SoundCloud.
Instagram,
Do you have
Facebook.
Spotify? You're
Yeah,
on
I do.
Spotify? Yeah, Spotify, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram. It's all just /
Twitter.
Sippy.
Sippy AU.
Sippy AU.
Oh, except for Spotify is just Sippy.
Sippy. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm sure they'll be able to
I'm sure that will.
find it. Alright,
Sweet.
Sick.
yeah,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Do you want to
Thanks,
do
dudes.
an outro clap for the sample pack?
Make
Well, we
it
have
good.
to do
Make
it.
it spicy.
Do it.
Yeah,
Oh.
nice.
Flame slap.
So good.
Alright, peace out.